Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to a ChronoLogic live stream. Today we have a live stream with the RootStocK, the RSK. We have a guest, Maximiliano Del Hoyo. It's Piotr speaking. I'm a tech lead at the ChronoLogic, and also you will hear Joseph from my team as well. So yeah, let's move forward.
Hello, how are you doing? I'm Max from RSK. I'm here with Joaquin, who is part of the BizDev team.
Hi, how are you?
And
Hey,
Joseph here from ChronoLogic. Hey guys.
Hey guys, awesome. Yeah, let's quickly run through the plan for the live stream today. It's gonna be pretty exciting. So we have a lot of stuff that we wanna, show and discuss and and go through. So if you have any questions, obviously use the chat on YouTube. Yeah, that's the quick introduction. Next, I'm gonna let Max talk about the RSK network, so everyone knows what's RootStocK, what they about, and everything around that. Then we're gonna take over and talk a little bit about the scheduling. So basically, our domain, the chronology domain, is automation and scheduling. Then we're gonna show you what's the progress of the integration, because we are here to talk about the integration with the ChronoLogic and the RootStocK. So yeah, and then Joseph's gonna go through some scheduling use cases, so anyone can have some idea how to use the protocol that we build both on RSK and on Ethereum. So yeah, basically, we here because for some time now we working with RootStocK guys on bringing the Ethereum alarm clock, so the scheduling protocol, to a RootStocK network. So we're really excited. Yeah, Max, could you tell the people who watching, about the RootStocK a little bit more?
Yeah, of course. First of all, thank you for the invitation. It's a pleasure for us to participate with you guys. As you know, RSK is a smart contract platform secured by the Bitcoin network. We are pegged to the Bitcoin network, so we use Bitcoin as fuel, and on the other hand, we are secure by the Bitcoin miners. So most of the hashing power in Bitcoin also goes to RSK. So right now, more than 40% of the hashing power in Bitcoin is working on RSK.
So, yes, and this is Joaquin. And the interesting part is we created, we have been working with all the miners, and we created a merge mining strategy with which all the miners are able to secure a network without having to increase their power or losing hashing power for the Bitcoin mining. So that's the big win, yeah, since they are able to keep mining all the Bitcoin blocks that they are mining nowadays, but they are also able to reuse all the hashes that they create and start mining our network without losing hashing power. And that's the strong part of the integration that we've gone through, yes, and we have been working on during the last years.
Yeah, and another thing that I see it's very valuable for our community is that we use Solidity as for our our language program for smart contracts. So and there are a lot of developer tools used by the most of the community, such as Truffle, Web3, MetaMask, that also work on RSK. So and on the other hand, we are happy to see ChronoLogic integrated to RSK, because it empower the ecosystem of RootStocK dApps, and it will open a lot of new use cases that I think that you are going to tell later. But I think that our community will be very interesting in this type of solution.
Yeah. So, last but not least, um, we'd like to share with you nowadays we are able to support 100 transactions per second. So that's quite interesting for the developer communities. And we are actually working on the scalability, and we aim to be able to process 2,000 transactions on chain. And if we achieve, our goal is to be able to process 20K transactions off chain. And finally, we would like to encourage uh, the rest of the community to take a minute and explore the possibilities of working with the RSK platform, since we believe that uh, it will grow really fast, and it's quite exciting. So we will let you move on with your presentation, please.
All right, thank you. Yes, we can confirm. So we're working with the RSK blockchain for some time. It's from the perspective, if you came from the Ethereum development, it's pretty much the same. It's very smooth transition. There are maybe some small differences, but not really anything significant. So as you will see later on, the kind of the migrating the smart contracts to the RSK network is pretty easy. So yeah, we encourage everyone to take a look, because this looks really, really exciting. Especially like some of us came from the Bitcoin background, so that's like another thing that we're really excited about. So from our perspective, for the alarm clock perspective, we definitely started on Ethereum. Now we going to the RootStocK, maybe some other blockchains as well, because our protocol is very universal. It's not really bound to anything, and if there is anything like EVM compatible, which is Ethereum virtual machine compatible, then we definitely can do that. So again, we're really excited to working with you guys, and looking forward for all this, how you are going to solve scalability issues, which is like the big topic obviously from the last year, and probably is going to be the big topic this year as well, within the blockchain ecosystems. Okay,
Absolutely.
let's move forward. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to just say a couple things, because for the people who don't know ChronoLogic, and you are from the RootStocK side, you know, basically why we're doing this. So especially when you are the Bitcoin guy, you know that there are the opcodes that actually allow to log the funds, and unlock them before like whatever time you set, which is actually not possible with the Ethereum itself. So there is no way the native way to schedule transactions on Ethereum. It's basically because all the transactions needs to be triggered from the external place, from the outside, obviously, because you need to sign your transaction with your private keys, and then broadcast to the network. So that's fairly complex if you want to like uh, do the scheduling with a decentralized manner. That's what we're doing, because it's what's really important for us, and that's how we want to embrace and embrace the blockchain idea. Is not to bring like centralized services to the decentralized world, but just to redesign and recreate things that are well known obviously in the centralized world, into the decentralized mode. So that's why we're building that, and obviously as you will see a little bit later, it's already there, so we're really excited about that. So yeah, the Ethereum alarm clock, the protocol that has been created originally in 2015 by Piper Merriam, who is now the Ethereum core developer working for the foundation. um, you know he started the idea and the whole thing that he envisioned that there might be some external nodes that are going to watch the blockchain for the specific transactions, and then execute them within a certain of time. Also, you need some bounty for those nodes to act, to lay some incentives basically. So but unfortunately, after 2015, when the fork happened, the protocol, kind of went a little bit dormant, and there was quite some problems, and then it just needs some work and to modernize and to bring more tools and the ecosystem and the community. And that's where the ChronoLogic actually came in, and we started as a team developing this, and building the community and all the tools around late 2017. And then last year, September, we actually did the mainnet release with the my crypto wallet integration. So as you will see, and Joseph's gonna demo that, it's very easy for the users to schedule transactions now, using the my crypto wallet. And an extra bonus, so for like couple of months where we live, we actually transacted over 300k USD of value, basically, of Ether and tokens, and what have you. So it's much more now, but it's from our perspective is really nice. Yeah. So I want to spend like maybe 2 or 3 minutes on slightly more technical things. So if we have like any developers here watching us, to understand how the clock protocol works. So we have like three main actors, which is like the user who is scheduling the transaction, which is like you and me, basically, that wants something to happen in the future, whether this is like a transfer of a crypto kitty, or maybe token, or maybe you want to execute some smart contract into the future. So that's where you want to do that. Then the second one, the central one, is obviously the Ethereum alarm clock, the protocol part, which is a smart contract. And then the third, which is the centralized network of the time nodes. And the time node is basically the off-chain client that makes sure that those transactions are executed. So yeah, the time node. So this is really interesting part, because it's basically we want to make sure that the execution is not really relying on any of the central service. We just don't want to do that, because with the central services, there is always a reliability issues, and something might be like a subject to the censorship and all this stuff. So the way we build that is that we created a decentralized network of the time nodes that basically they are the rational agents. So they are basically incentivized by the bounty to do the executions, because that's how they earn. So that's basics of how the time nodes work with our network. And obviously, the more time nodes on the network, the higher the reliability, but also there is more competition for on this market. So obviously the amount of the time nodes depends on amount of these incoming scheduled transactions. So this has to be always in the this basically striving to the equilibrium. Yes. So hopefully you kind of grasp the idea on what's the alarm clock, and you also know what's the RSK about. So that's why we want to show you a little bit of the progress where we are with the implementation. And this is also very specific to our product, but I want to just, we have a couple of the things that essentially are part of the whole ecosystem. So as I said, the protocol part, which is a smart contract, the time node core, which is the whole logic for the automated execution by those time nodes, as well as the centralized application, the dApp, that we have also to run the time node, but also to schedule transactions. And then the wallets like the MyCrypto, that's going to get the RSK support as well. So and now we are in the testnet phase, working, and kind of almost done with the two next parts, which is the time node core and the dApp. So we hopefully gonna be able to show anyone how you can do that on the testnet. And obviously it's gonna take some time to test and make sure that everything works. It's obviously about the transferring some money. You saw before, it's like, quite a lot of money can be transferred over those smart contracts. So definitely we need to make sure that it won't be hacked, right? So that's where we're going to spend next weeks, definitely, as a team, to bring the whole thing together. Okay, now basically I want Joseph to take over. He's going to show you, how to use my crypto. Also going to show you how, different scheduling use cases. So bear with us, Joseph.
Hey guys, thanks Peter for the introduction. So hi guys, my name is Joseph. So I'm a developer here at ChronoLogic, and for the past months we've been working on the Ethereum alarm clock and getting it up to like a stable version on the Ethereum network. And now, as we're kind of approaching this release on RSK, we want to just kind of go through some of these scheduling use cases, which were like the initial kind of like starting point for the Ethereum alarm clock and this whole project. So we'll go through just a couple of stuff that we find very valuable with scheduling on RSK. So a use case that we found is the trust fund. So basically, you can lock your funds in a certain wallet and in a smart contract using the Ethereum alarm clock, and you can then release it at some future point in time. So this protects you from losing your private key, and so in case you lose your private key, you still have these funds in the smart contract, and you can withdraw them later. And it also helps you, if you want to schedule some payments for the future, and you want to only withdraw them at a specific point in time. So, for example, if you have children, you can schedule transactions at their 18th birthday or something, and then they can only get these certain funds after a certain time period has passed. So something that is also very akin to a trust fund is, we call it, so the time locked vault. So basically this is for you hodler guys there. So basically, if you want to stop yourself from selling your cryptocurrency at a low point in the bear market, you can always schedule it to be sent to your wallet only at a later point in time. That case, you can burn your private key intentionally and stop yourself from selling at a low point. So just stopping yourself from this like FOMO. So this is also like one of the use cases in any basically cryptocurrency, right? So this is some functionality that we also want to bring and we find valuable with the Ethereum alarm clock, and hopefully on RSK as well. Another use case that we have is so-called token investing. So for you guys who have been maybe participating in ICOs and things like that, you probably know that, let's say, after an ICO has passed, some of the tokens get locked up and become only available at like after a certain time interval. So what you can do here with the Ethereum alarm clock is you can schedule these token transfers to happen only after the unlock period has passed. So, for example, a team does an ICO, and then through the Ethereum alarm clock, they can ensure that they can kind of assure the community that basically the funds, the tokens that were given to the team, can only be unlocked after a certain period of time has passed. So this can also be achieved with the Ethereum alarm clock. Another very obvious use case is in business, right? So in payments. So if you work in any crypto projects, you can probably tell that a lot of these projects, they use cryptocurrency to of course to pay their employees and things like that. So what you can do is you can schedule recurring payments on the Ethereum alarm clock. So basically payments that happen, let's say, on the first of the month, and these will go out to your employees. And of course, you can schedule these in advance, for maybe like a year in advance for your employees. And of course, all of these transactions can also be canceled. So if something goes wrong, you can always cancel some of these. But you can kind of like automate your approach to business as well. So and this, of course, this also shows intent and availability of the funds. So in In that way, the person you hired can be assured that they will indeed get paid, and they can also be assured that the funds for their work are already secured, so that they don't have to worry about not getting paid or not being reimbursed for their work. So another use case we have is multi-signature wallets. So in case you guys are not familiar with multi-sig wallets, so multi-sig wallets are wallets that, similar to regular wallets, they hold cryptocurrency in them. But any transactions that have to go through this multi-signature wallet, they have to be approved by each of the parties that is a participant, an owner in this, a co-owner in this wallet. So what you can do here is maybe sometimes if you're not available, but you know that you have to approve a certain transaction for the benefit of the team that is, let's say, a part of the multi-sig wallet, you can schedule your approval to happen at the exact time that the multi-sig wallet has to release these funds. So this can also help you if, for example, you're traveling and you know that you won't be having internet connections, but you still want to approve a certain transaction on the multi-sig wallet. You can use the Ethereum alarm clock to trigger this. Another use case we have is the token allocator. So basically, token allocator is if you want to split funds among a group of participants. Let's say you want to send a certain amount to a contract, and then this contract does the distribution of these funds. You can also do this. You can also schedule this kind of transactions, and it would reduce the possibility of some error with like manual interaction. And of course, this also helps with vesting funds. So this also works well with the previous token vesting that we have discussed, because it gives you an additional layer of automation. And last but not least, so we have gambling, and I would also include gaming here. So of course, gambling is not something we endorse, but it is a proper use case along with gaming. So for people who do any kind of interactions with gambling services or any games, you can clearly see that any of these decentralized applications that manipulate funds, because this is what basically these applications are. They're basically just regular applications that manipulate funds. And with the appearance of cryptocurrencies and all of these decentralized applications, it really brings gaming and gambling to a different level. So for example, this could trigger certain events to happen in case something after a certain period of time has passed, maybe to release some funds. Or for example, if you're running some game on the blockchain, let's say you have let's say something akin to CryptoKitties or something like that, which could be running on the blockchain, you can trigger certain events to happen on regular time intervals. So for example, if you have a kitty and this kitty will grow older, let's say in a year, you can schedule basically a transaction to trigger this kitty getting older in a year. So this is like one of the small use cases, and with the appearance of more and more games on the blockchain, and hopefully on RSK as well, as we kind of move towards this faster transactions per second, we can expect to see more and more games on the blockchain, and we can expect the Ethereum alarm clock to be even more valuable in these kinds of use cases. So that's it for the use cases section. Let's just go through a little bit about some stuff just to mention on some of the things that we have been working on ChronoLogic. So I'll give it back to you, Piotr. Thanks.
Hey, thanks, Joseph. Yeah, so obviously Ethereum alarm clock is the decentralized one, and as all the decentralized solution, it does have some like trade-offs. And here with the other thing we call automate is like very light, cheap, efficient, and efficient scheduling for the Ethereum and for RootStocK as well in the future. It's not decentralized. It relies on like centralized services, and it's based on the standard signed transaction. So it's actually no risk involved, which is also cool. We integrated that with Zapier. Zapier is like a general purpose platform for the automation. Yeah, so you can do like a lot of things, in this stuff. So if you're interested in more things, just join us on the next webinar at the end of this week, Friday, 18th.
And I'll also jump in a quick, Piotr. So before moving forwards, I would like to maybe do a short demo on my crypto, so that you guys who are new, maybe coming from the RSK community, you guys can see the Ethereum alarm clock working on Ethereum, and we can kind of show how this will also be working on RSK. So if we open my crypto, which is I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with my crypto, but it's one of the biggest wallets in the crypto space. And what we have been working on with my crypto and the Ethereum alarm clock is to provide an integration, which basically allows you on this general send tokens and Ether on my crypto. It allows you to specify the address you want to send to, the amount, but we have added, together with my crypto, we have added this send later button. And what this button does is it allows you to schedule your transaction. So basically, you get this new window called Schedule Transaction Settings. And what you can do here is you can select a time at which you want your transaction to be performed. You can give a small bounty to the person who will be sending these transactions, triggering these transactions. And you can easily schedule your transaction through my crypto in a decentralized way, and then you just schedule it, and you don't have to worry about it being executed. The Ethereum alarm clock network and our time nodes, they take care of all the rest. So what we want to do here as well, as you can see, this is running on the Ropsten testnet on Ethereum. But what we want to do here is we want to add support for RSK as well. So currently we are in the process of, currently we have the first transaction scheduled on RSK, but we still have to port some of our tool sets, some of our backend tool sets to RSK to make this work. So in the future, you'll be able to select RSK here, and you would also get the send later button, and you would be able to send transactions on RSK, which is something we are very excited to kind of bring forwards. Okay, I'll give it back to you then, Piotr. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Yeah. Basically, we mentioned the time nodes, which are the the executing agents, and basically every one of you can run the time node, potentially earn some bounties. So if you're interested in doing that, definitely go to www.ethereumalarmclock.com. Also, you will see the links to the Telegram of our community. These folks are going to help you, how to set up the things. They're really experts into that. So yeah, let's go. Yeah, okay. So let's see. Do we have any questions, so we can answer them live? Let's see on the chatbot. Okay, I see someone's asking about a support of the wallets for the RootStocK or SBTC. Can you guys take this question?
Okay, well.
Okay, let me see the.
Well, the first question is RSK, if it's alive or no. Yes, RSK is alive. We have been live for 1 year now. The second question is in regards to the wallets. Which wallets we support RSK? Right now, I believe that my crypto supports RSK. Portis is also supporting RSK. MetaMask has full support of RSK. Jax is also working with RSK, and I believe that I might be missing someone there. So, in fact, I placed a comment within YouTube with my email. So, if you have any further questions that you would like to ask now or in the future, feel free to mail us, and we will be happy to answer your questions.
Okay. Let's wait a second. If anything else pops up. If not, let's just wrap it up.
Checks the ticket, you can see that on the RSK website. Yeah, regarding the ticker, Sean is asking something related to the ticker. Yeah, right now the ticker is RBTC. The old one was SBTC, but it's the same. So Shax is releasing a new update. So I see that soon you will see that the ticker in Shax will be RBTC. Access and ledger, but yeah, regarding hardware wallets, you can use Ledger or Trezor. If you enter our GitHub, there's a documentation about that. But if you have any doubt, just write us an email. I'm putting the email here in the YouTube chat, so you can ask anything you want. Or if you want to access to the live support, you can go to Gitter. Let me see. This is a Gitter. Hold on.
Yes, we will share the link there.
Yeah, and yeah, that's the question regarding the ledger, how to use ledger, and what does they come into the quotation of new person? What is the economics? Regarding the last question, it was
there's someone asking in regards to Reef protocols. I don't know if you all are aware of what we are working on right now. We have just launched our Reef initiative. And the idea is to start working with standard protocols that will run over the RSK platform. So we launched that a couple of weeks ago. And right now we have already released the name service that it's kind of something similar to the name services for internet addresses. The idea is to have something similar to the name services in Ethereum, So the idea is to have a translator that's able to translate human readable addresses into RSK addresses or even Bitcoin addresses. Make sense?
Okay. Okay, there's one question about towards us. So where does the day economics come into the equation and new partnership with RSK? So basically, you would need to hold a day tokens in order to run the TIMENODE. We're talking about the TIMENODE version, which is a standalone dApp, which is with a graphic interface and statistics and everything. So that's where we're gonna at the moment use the day tokens.
Regarding the last question, regarding CoinMarketCap, if you can find our ticker right there, is RBTC. And regarding Reef, I hope to see it maybe next week, because today we started listening in Bitfinex and other exchanges right now. I think that today. So regarding RBTC, you will find it on CoinMarketCap. Yeah.
Okay, I think that was the last question. So yeah, thank you guys for being with us, and thank you RSK for being a guest on our live stream. So yep, thank you, and have a good night. It's at my time at least, it's evening. So
Thanks, Piotr. Thanks, Maximiliano. Thanks for joining the live stream.
Great. Thank you very much, and congrats about your project. It's amazing, and it's a pleasure to see you integrated with RSK. Thank you very much.
And keep in touch. Bye.
Same thing goes for RSK. Thanks, guys.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.